Hello everyone, welcome to Maximum Sustained Performance. Today we're going to talk about the well-known treatment that you may have heard of, maybe you've seen it in the news, maybe you've heard somebody talk about it, and that is Testosterone Replacement Therapy, short for TRT. So we're going to discuss everything you need to know. Who needs it? How do you know if you're eligible for TRT? What's it all about? And how to understand it fully. And that's really getting into the buzz of testosterone replacement therapy. So maybe you're feeling low energy. Maybe you're struggling with weight loss. Maybe you're just curious. You're saying, is TRT right for me? This video has got you covered. I'm going to make this video the most informative one on YouTube. And by the end, you'll know how TRT works, what it is, the benefits and risks involved, who should consider TRT, and stick around, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to know when I talk about more topics like this. So, you might be tired, you might be thinking, I just don't know. I don't know if TRT is right for me. Maybe you don't have the energy you used to. Maybe you don't have the motivation you used to. Or, it's a tough subject to talk about, but things down there aren't working as well, and your love life isn't good. And then there's another symptom that a lot of people don't talk about. Other than trying to lose weight and having issues with your love life, there can be issues also with memory. Maybe you just can't pull information as quickly. And you start to wonder, well, is there something I can do about it? And you've heard of this thing called TRT, but is it right for everybody? Well, you have to ask yourself this. As we start aging, you might be wondering, well, I'm not sure, then based on your age, based on your genetic condition, based if you've had any accidents, you can decide for you by watching this if TRT is right for you. I'm not saying it's right for everybody. I'm not saying it's good for everybody, but it is definitely an option to consider. But first of all, we need to actually go into what it is, not just the podcast you hear about famous influencers being on it. So what is TRT, or testosterone replacement therapy? Simply, it's a medical treatment designed to restore healthy testosterone levels in men. They have low T, or they're having low T deficiency. Now, this is something, in my opinion, you should get tested with a blood test. And there's two different types of testosterone. There's free testosterone, which is the one that's bioavailable that makes you feel good, and then there's your testosterone bank. You can think of it like this, and here's how I like to think of it. Think of a bank balance. Maybe you have 500 available, you just put a check in. But the bank has to wait for that check to go in. But you had $100 that was available to spend. So you can spend that $100 and buy stuff, but you can't spend stuff on the check because they're waiting to see if the check goes through. That's how I think of it. The free testosterone is the stuff that you can use, and to make you feel good, to help give you a pump in the gym and in other locations. And the testosterone bank is your testosterone built up. Now, as men age, like after 30, your testosterone goes down by 1%. Now, it just naturally declines. Yes, there are environmental factors, endocrine disruptors and things like that, and different things that can happen, nutrition, genetics, they all play a role. But typically it's around 1% after you're 30. Some guys, levels drop too low, and they lead to symptoms like we were talking about. Low energy, fatigue, loss of muscle mass, increased fat, getting a little bit of a belly, mood swings, depression, low libido. Yes, sometimes you might just get angry. Like, oh, why am I so frustrated all the time? Why can't I remember anything? Why am I just feeling so lethargic? I don't want to do stuff. It's tough. It gets tough. You have all this energy at 20, then it just tapers down after 30. Now, it's always a good idea. This is not direct medical advice. You have to check with a physician or a clinic or a place that does blood work and get your testosterone levels, your total testosterone, your free testosterone, your bioavailable, there's different, and see what those are. You should also, if it's possible, check other things, be it pregnenolone. You can also check your cortisol. Maybe you're super stressed. Maybe there's something going on. You want to have all those and take a look at that. Now, typically, people have judged high and low testosterone in different ways. 1200 being the tippy top, that means you are good to go. And usually you can be hypogonadal in the 200, 100. But different physicians classify different ways. It also comes down to a big thing. How are you feeling? Someone might be feeling super energetic at 500, and someone at 900 might be lethargic. So it's not always 100% that you're going to have low libido or sexual dysfunction or these problems. You have to get a blood test, and you have to see what the numbers are. Now, based on that, your age, your genetics, and what's going on, the doctors should be the one to recommend this to you. And they prescribe TRT in different forms. It can be injections, gels, patches, or implants. But is it a miracle cure? Does it fix everything? Or are you just going to be like, hey, Superman from a dude who was just, overweight? Or, are you going to be just, crushing it out there like the Hulk? Now, TRT has some serious benefits when it's prescribed correctly, but it has to be, I can't stress this enough, it has to be prescribed correctly by a doctor, not just, I kind of feel tired, I ate a pizza, I want to sleep, or I can't remember something, or one time me and the wife just couldn't, make things happen. You can kind of picture, what I'm talking about there. You actually need real tests. Now, if the doctor says yes, you get blood work, it's good, you decide to use it, and it can be used by patches, gels, there's also pills, shots, there's different ways to do it. It doesn't always have to be a syringe like you popularly see. But what are some of the benefits you can get if you do get it? Increase muscle mass and strength. It helps boost protein synthesis, making you more leaner. Get those guns out, gentlemen. More stamina. Guys report on TRT feeling way more energized throughout the day. That's a big one. You don't have to drink 7 cups of coffee. Don't do that anyway because your cortisol will be crazy. Improve mental clarity. It shows testosterone plays a role in the brain function, reducing brain fog and symptoms of depression. So you're going to be a happy dude. And, of course, better libido and sexual performance. Yes, testosterone gets that little guy working. You get a pump down there, too, if you didn't know. And cardiovascular benefits. Some people say that TRT improves heart health. I'd say that's debatable, but I know a lot of people are going to say, well, this all sounds pretty good. But, you have to be honest with yourself. If you have symptoms of low libido, you're tired, brain fog, and this clears it up and everything, and things are going well, what are the risks? And one problem I see is a lot of people and influencers, they say TRT great. They'll say, wow, go get TRT. They'll kind of push it. Or some people will see, somebody, a big influencer like, Rogan or something like that, and think to themselves, well, or their favorite bodybuilder on YouTube, TikTok gets it, and they'll say, well, all these things look great. They're hitting, crazy PRs in the gym, or they're doing well, or my favorite athlete's doing well. But are there actual potential side effects that I should be concerned with? And I would definitely say yes. If you don't know the side effects, you can't make a good decision, and that's the problem. And I know you're going to say, it sounds amazing, everything's good, I feel more like a man, but are there risks and side effects? Because TRT is not for everyone. That's why you need a doctor. I'm going to emphasize that super hard. So, what are some risks? Well, increased red blood cell count can raise the risk of blood clots, acne and oily skin. Some people get breakouts. Testicular shrinkage, infertility is possible since your body reduces the natural production of testosterone. Water retention, some guys get bloating, some guys get swelling. Also, there's a concern that TRT might increase prostate cancer risk, but recent research is a little bit mixed on this. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to say exactly there, but this is why monitoring your health is crucial if you're on TRT, if you're on it. Now, who should consider going on TRT? Well, you got to get your blood work done. I'm going to emphasize this. You got to talk to a doctor. The big question is TRT right for you? How do you know? How do you know even to get started? How do you know if you're even a good candidate? If you have clinically low testosterone confirmed by blood tests, if you're experiencing severe symptoms that impact daily life, that's when I go for the blood test. Life, sleep, diet, exercise haven't helped. And I emphasize too, do the natural things too. Don't forget to work out. This isn't like, oh, okay, I'm gonna take a magical pill or shot or whatever and then just stop working out, stop eating healthy. This is doing all the right things, stacking them. And if that still doesn't work and you just can't get that level, then you go for it. And I would make sure you're having symptoms first. Now, if you're just looking for a quick fix, if you're under 30 with normal testosterone, I think you should explore natural ways to boost T first. This isn't me being, a cheerleader and say, oh, okay, well, yeah, somebody else is on TRT, so you should get it. This has to come down to you're experiencing the symptoms, you're usually of age. If you're like 21, 22, I'd be skeptical if everything's working fine, just to go and get TRT or, go and, get a blood test for it. So, what are some T boosting tips? Let's do it natural, guys. Weightlifting is a big one. Get those pumps, lift those weights, guys. Hit those PRs. Impress people with your bench press. Sleep. You got a lot of guys. You'd be very, very surprised. There's a lot of guys that say, hey, you're taking ashwagandha or things like that. Tonkat Ali, you're doing natural things. And they'll say, wait, well, how do those do anything? And then they'll tell me, hey, I'm not sleeping, I'm not drinking water, I'm not getting sunlight, and I'm not lifting weights. So if you're not doing those things, those basic things, there's no magical cure. There's nothing that's going to do that. You need to actually move. You need to get sleep. You need to hydrate. You need to do all that stuff. Diet is another big one. You need to actually eat foods, in my opinion, that are high in protein. Now, not medical advice, but foods that are going to be not processed, single ingredient. And also stress management. Are you freaking out all the time? Is the world coming down? You're just like, no, help me. And then, or your job's just got you tearing your hair out, or you're having trouble with your spouse, maybe because of this, but still, all that stress is going to raise your cortisol. There's another hormone we'll get into in other videos, but your cortisol is high. Guess what, gentlemen? It's going to make your testosterone lower. Now, cortisol is not a bad thing. It's your fight or flight hormone. But still, you have to take into consideration that all these things are going to play a factor, no matter if you go on it or not. Now, if you manage your stress, you got your diet, you got your sleep on point, you have everything good, you're over 30 and you're feeling tired, and it's just not working out. You're thinking, what do? I need a solution. So here's what I would say. I'm going to really give it to you here. So, guys, TRT can be life-changing for the right person. It's not a decision to take lightly. You've got to get your blood work. You've got to do your homework before you consider TRT. Before you even think about it and say, well, I just watched this video. This guy seems cool. His cortisol doesn't seem high. He's not as stressed. What can I do? Well, before you get on TRT, check your testosterone levels. What is your total testosterone? What is your free testosterone? What are the other things too? You can take a look at those. Pregnenolone. You can take a look at your cortisol. You can take a look if you have mineral deficiencies. That could be a thing. Talk with a qualified doctor. Don't just hit your gym bro up. I'm sure he's a cool guy, but he's not going to have necessarily the medical knowledge to give you a qualified opinion. Okay, I'm not at 300, but I'm not at 1200, maybe in the 500, 600 range of total testosterone and your free testosterone. What should you do? Now, I'd say this, even if he says yes, you have to weigh pros and cons carefully. You can't just say, well, it kind of sounds good. You have to think about it like this. Everything has a trade-off, especially in the medical world. If you're going to do one thing, if you're going to balance, it's like a seesaw, balance one thing out, something will go higher, something will go lower. Some people say like, hey, I don't want to deal with the infertility, but if, you're okay with dealing with that, maybe you finished reproducing, or you're okay with that, or if you're okay with, hey, maybe I'll break out in acne, maybe there will be some things that will change, maybe that I'll be a little bit more, and it can cause people to be even more angry or anxious. Maybe that some of those things happen. You're okay with that. You really have to sit down and think the pros and the cons. Do the pros outweigh the cons, or do the cons outweigh the pros? And I cannot make that decision for you with TRT. What I can say is, with maximum sustained performance, if you decide to do it, if your blood level is showing that you've talked to a qualified doctor, generally you're over 30 and you're just not able to make the mark doing all the natural things, this is a good way to go to get professionals to help you and also to do this correctly. So that is TRT in a nutshell, what it is, testosterone replacement therapy, who it's for, what you should do, and also how you can get started on it, the pros and the cons, weigh those out. And I hope this was helpful to you. Just giving you the information in a raw, honest format, which a lot of influencers, in my opinion, have not done. And I want to get this out on YouTube to really do that. So the decision I now leave up to you. I hope this information was helpful to you. If it was, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for more content on men's health, TRT, performance, and also drop a comment below. I'm sure you have questions. Have you tried TRT? What's your opinion of TRT? Do you like it? Do you think it's helpful? Are you thinking about it? Maybe you can help somebody down below. And also, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more uploads, go ahead and hit that notification bell. Until next time, stay strong, stay healthy. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching Maximum Sustained Performance.